Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Herald Times Presents Coffeetime. Jared, so busy, very busy week.
This past week.
It's gonna
get busier and busier as the school year continues.
Absolutely, it is. I know school starts this week, going now, but sports, extracurriculars, they've been going for a while now, and you and I took a nice long trip out to Yuma.
It was a fun trip.
It was definitely fun, and
to do it again.
Exactly, and even better that we won.
Yep.
And
it was great to get the win on the road.
Absolutely, and as our interviewee that we talk about here in a little bit, it's always nice to see Yuma lose, just from a personal perspective, him and me. But anyway, so what do we have going on?
So, the sports update. Meeker football won on the road at Yuma this past Friday, 30-15. They had their home opener this Friday against Delta on August 28th at 7 p.m. That should be a good one.
That one's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, it will. It will.
I think it's going to kind of show exactly where we're at for the year. I mean, I know it's been a couple of years, but Delta has won a state championship in the last few years, and they're 2A, correct?
Yeah, 2A.
Right, so we're going up a division, but it'll be a great test.
It'll be a great test and a good challenge, and go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys, absolutely.
And then moving on to Meeker volleyball, they went to the Glenwood Springs tournament and went 3-1. Finishing in third place, only to lose to the tournament host, Glenwood Springs. And talking to Coach Cravens this week, he said this was the best they've done in a few years at that Glenwood Springs tournament. So.
Well, and that's a tough tournament. That's a tough tournament. Yeah. And they do that on purpose, as with our interview last week. They do that to play against the tougher teams, a little bit bigger, everything. So for them to go 3-1, that's impressive.
Yes, sir. And they beat Pacosa Springs 2-0, Coleridge 2-0, and Steamboat 2-1. And they had their home opener against, August 28th against Basalt at 5 p.m. And then the next day they welcome North Park at 11 a.m.
Nice. So busy weekend.
A busy weekend for them.
Yep.
Then moving on to softball, they played a doubleheader in Montezuma. Lost both, unfortunately, 13-1 and 12-2. But in the second, they collected 5 hits in the opening game and finished with 7 hits in the second game while hitting .350 as a team.
Nice.
And this weekend they're on the road for another doubleheader, August 28th at Battle Mountain, 3 p.m. and 5 p.m.
Nice. So, off to a decent start.
Yeah.
I mean, Montezuma Cortez they're a pretty tough team.
Pretty tough team.
Yeah. And they're bigger than us.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that, I guess with softball, we're always going to be one of the small ones. That's just the way it is. But, yeah, good job, girls, and hopefully Battle Mountain will be a good game.
Yep. Yes, sir. And then golf, they were at Cobble Creek last Thursday. They finished 16th as a team with a team score of 280. Tegan Smith led the team with 87 overall. Sebastian Baumgart went second, 91. Bryson Pena shot 102. Dylan Runberg shot 102. And David Cook shot 121. And then yesterday, they were at Adobe Creek, and Tegan Smith led the team with an 81. Sebastian Baumgart got 92. Dylan Runberg got 109. David Cook got 108, and Holt Poloni got 120.
Nice. And Adobe Creek is...
That's in Fruta.
Yeah. In Fruta, and it's a wide open course, but it's a pretty long, difficult course. Yeah. So good job, guys.
And then
way to go.
They're on the road at Rangeley today, so
okay,
that should be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the following week, they wrap up August in Rifle.
Okay.
On Monday August 31st. And then cross country, Landon Damitz was the first to finish in line at 19th place at 17:51. Bradley Conrado was second behind, was 1 second behind in 21st. Ryan Hamburg was the third finisher in 18:35 for 27th place. Ashton Tapia and Jackson Still rounded out the varsity squad at 21:20 and 21:46 for 67th and 73rd places respectively. And the boys were fourth in team scoring for the 5K. And then Tinley Strait had her cross country debut in the girls varsity 5K, finishing in 39th place at 24:59. In the JV races, Aisha Schofield finished the 2.5K course in 14:32 for 30th, with Lucas Robinson 1 place behind at 16:33, and Abigail Amick finished the same loop in 17:24 for 30th place. Then there'll be a Minturn on Saturday for the Battle Mountain Husky Invitational, and races begin at 10 a.m.
Nice. And that great job for first week getting out there.
Yeah.
I would not want to be the one going to Minturn. Sorry.
I wouldn't either.
Not running at that elevation,
No.
but man, good luck. Good luck. And it seems like they just keep getting better and better on that every year.
Exactly.
So they're doing
that
great.
Back running, as Coach Casey said last year.
Yep.
Running on that pack. So keep it up and go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
Another busy week. This coming week.
Absolutely. Man, that's the way the fall season is.
Yep.
I mean, once school starts, it's full go.
Yes, sir.
Full go.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jared. Let's go ahead and go to a break. With us, we will have our superintendent, Mr. Chris Selle. All right. Welcome back, everybody. With us, we have our superintendent, Chris Selle. Thank you so much for coming in this morning. Appreciate it. And we've got a lot of questions. I mean, this is the first week. School's coming back in. Kids are in. So, Jared, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Selle, thanks for coming on. How would you describe the start of the 2026-27 school year so far?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to visit, and always, take every chance I have to talk about how great our school system is and how wonderful all the kids are and our teachers. Off to a great start this year. We're fully staffed, which is kind of rare for schools our size, especially in rural communities. So that's a real win for us to have all the people in the buildings we need to have. Kids are back. Enrollment looks like it's up just a touch, which is also a bit of a trend that is not common in rural districts right now. So, all things looking great. We only have one day of school under our belt, so it's hard for me to say exactly how the school year started.
Yeah.
But yesterday was a good day, so we're off to a good start.
That's awesome. And what are some of the biggest changes like students and families will notice this year compared to with last year?
Sure. I think one of the things that makes our school district successful, and I got a little bit of a biased opinion, but if you look at any metrics that you use to measure a school district by, the Meeker School District is a very successful school district. And so I think one of the things that makes us successful is that we don't change a lot. We know who we are. We know what our goal and our purpose is. And we try to just be pretty steadfast with that. So there's not a lot of huge change that we make from year to year because we know that what we're doing is working. And educators are really good at chasing change, chasing the shiny new toy just for the sake of change. And we try to make sure that we're real intentional about any changes that we make. Having said that, we do have a new partnership this year with the Meeker Police Department, and we're going to have a school resource officer. So Officer Amick is going to be on school grounds a lot more regularly at school events. Eventually that'll work into some educational programming for kids, as well as having another, adult that students can make positive relationships with. So that's probably the biggest change for us this school year.
That's awesome. And what are like the major goals you and the school board have established for the district this year?
Yeah, so obviously one of them is around making sure we're doing everything we can to keep kids and staff safe, which is why we added the SRO, and grateful for the town for their contribution to that as well too. We did, one of the things that we have noticed, one of the data points that we've noticed in our school system that needs some improvement is writing instruction. So we've also adopted a new writing curriculum. We teach writing, but we didn't have a lot of resources and real explicit instruction around writing. And so we've noticed that our students have a lot of opportunities to write, but we don't have anything that really explicitly teaches them how to write. So there's a bit of a goal around across the school district, K through 12, to improve our writing outcomes as well.
Right. And when I go other places, because we are from Northeast Colorado originally, when we talk, I always brag about Meeker, and not only just our grades and everything else, but the way that the town comes in with it. And that just is something unique. And you've really, and the principals, Amy, everybody have really pushed where it's a full community part with that. How do you feel with the community and how they come together with this?
Right. I think I've been a couple of different places, and I would argue that Meeker, the community of Meeker, does as good, if not a better job of supporting their school as any place I've been or even heard about. One example of that is, curriculum materials are expensive, and there's a lot of school districts that aren't able to provide up-to-date, regular, curriculum materials newly established for their staff. Between the American Legion, the Meeker Education Foundation, the Fairfield Board, the library district, we have spent thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars in my time here, making sure that our teachers have up-to-date, viable curriculum. Probably 90% of that is paid by somebody else. It's paid by one of those organizations that I mentioned or others that I forgot to mention. It's one thing for your community to say, hey, we support you, we're behind you, thanks for all you do. It's another thing for them to open up their pocketbook.
Right.
Our bond from 2018 when we built a new high school, that's the community saying we trust what you're doing. We're willing to raise our taxes for our kids. And really, in our town, if there's something that our students need in the school district for one reason or another can't provide it, our community steps up and they support our kids. It's a really, it's a really special place. Meeker really is in terms of how our community buys into what the school is doing, but mostly because they love our kids and they want to help our kids out.
Awesome. And what are you hoping to see from teachers and staff as everyone settles into the new school year?
Yeah, well, my expectation of teachers is pretty straightforward.
Right.
Teach kids, make sure we're learning. That's very broad. There's all sorts of things we got to teach kids, from, how to line up in kindergarten to career aspirations for our high school kids, and in between all that, reading and math and science. But really, that's the goal. That's the purpose of our organization, is to ensure kids are learning. Student learning has to be our highest priority, whatever that manifestation might be, so that kids then, when they leave our system, are ready for whatever they're planning to do in life. So it's a really simple statement, but has a very broad meaning. We're going to get in classrooms. We're going to focus on learning so that kids can be ready for whatever comes next in their lives.
And transportation, how's Meeker approaching transportation this year?
Yeah, transportation is a challenge for a lot of places. It turns out it's hard to hire bus drivers.
Right.
We're pretty fortunate. We did have one more individual who came to the school district and wants to be a full-time bus driver for us. And we had one of our kind of outlying areas in the school district where we hadn't had a lot of students. All of a sudden we had a bit of an influx. So we've actually added a bus route this year. We're fortunate that our transportation director, Melissa Woodward, does an absolutely great job managing our transportation department. She also drives a route. Our full-time mechanic drives a route. So the fact that we got folks that are in our system that are willing to drive a route on a daily basis helps us. I got my bus driver's license a few years ago to try to help out. It's usually Melissa scraping the bottom of the barrel if she calls me. Like, we're desperate if I got to drive a bus.
Right.
But we're able to fill in if somebody needs to be gone for an activity or something like that. So we're really in a pretty good spot compared to a lot of other places, and even compared to where we were a couple of years ago with bus drivers.
So you were talking a little bit how influx, we have more kids. Is that throughout the board? Is it more older high school, elementary? And why do you think that is? That we have more people?
It's kind of across the board. There's not really one grade or another where there's more. I think it's because we're amazing and we attract people, but again, I'm a little biased. We had a family move in that had several kids. We did have a group of students from Maybell that are coming to school this year, and so we run the bus to the county line up Strawberry Creek, and they meet us and then come in. And then the rest of them are really kind of just random reasons. But some of it is, I joke about it, but some of it is we got a pretty good reputation as a school system, and that attracts folks to your school.
And that's not just around here. Statewide, we have a good reputation on that. Yeah. It's an amazing school system.
Sir. And if we have you back on the podcast at the end of the school year, what would you like to be able to point out to say we accomplished this?
Yeah, well, I think, I talked about writing. I think, we have assessments, so you got hard data that you can look at to see if you've made improvements. I think with our SRO, you can, look at what types of relationships and educational programs have we accomplished, or are we seeing a decline in some of the bigger student discipline issues that sometimes, and we don't deal with a lot of really big ones, but
right.
That still prevention is better than cure. Like an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Is that the saying? So right. having, I know that when I see a state trooper on the interstate, I slow down. So having law enforcement on school grounds sort of, that's going to change some behaviors. And so you could look at your data on like office referrals. But the reality with a lot of times with schools, and especially schools our size, is you really kind of need like 3 to 5 years to actually gauge if changes in goals are effective. One, because we got a small sample size, and so your data is a little variable from year to year. But two, you also have to give things a little bit of time to make sure that you make adjustments after you've started something new. So there are some like interim measures, by the end of the year that we could look at. But reality is that we need to give those things a couple of years before we really say if it's working or not.
And what message would you like to give students, parents, teachers, and the Meeker community as we begin another school year?
We're excited to have your kids. We're going to take care of them. We're going to keep them safe. We're going to teach them. We're going to challenge them. We're going to push them. We're going to help them grow. That's our goal. That's our purpose. That's why we take your tax dollars, and we will be good stewards of those tax dollars to make sure that we're focused on our mission, and we're grateful that you've entrusted us with your kids.
Yeah, and thank you so much for that. And it's I moved up here 6 years ago, and one of the main reasons was bring my kid to this school district because you guys just do such an amazing job. And I'm just going to say this with the seniors, your senior seminar type stuff where we're getting ready for college. We're one of the very few that I've talked to that actually does something like that. So you guys are taking them from elementary and getting them ready for college. And I think our kids are a lot more prepared than a lot of other school people are graduating. So really, thank you.
The senior seminar has been a great addition for us. And we have great people in our school system.
Right.
I get to talk to you all about it, but really I got to stay out of their way because they can just do their job without my help. And, I just sign checks and make sure the budgets y'all teach because you're amazing at your jobs, and I'll just get out of your way.
Got anything else?
Yep, that's all I got.
All right. Mr. Selle, thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful school year, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Welcome back. Chris, thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Selle, thank you so much.
Always great to have him on the show.
Absolutely. And he gives a different insight.
Yes, sir.
Than a lot. He's the one that sees over everything. So he has kind of a nice overview instead of specific. So it's great. Now we're up for our Student of the Week.
Student of the Week. This week, our Student of the Week is Kaylin Watson on the Meeker softball team. She went 3 for 3 with 4 RBIs versus Aspen and Rifle. Hit a 2-run double in the first inning against Aspen and added another RBI single and 2 more RBIs later in the game.
Nice. So, congratulations. Great job.
Yep, great job. Keep up the great work and go Cowboys.
Absolutely. And go Cowboys. And one more thing, let's go over a little bit this week for home games. So we have Delta for football.
At 7 p.m.
Right.
It's August 28th.
Right. And volleyball?
And volleyball plays Basalt on August 28th at 5 p.m.
Gotcha.
And then they play North Park the following day, August 29th at 11 a.m.
11, right. So, finally, some home games.
Yeah, finally.
That's kind of what I'm looking at.
We'll be there. We'll be there, too.
Yeah,
Come up and say hi. Come up and say hi.
Exactly. And just to let you guys know, we are working with Meeker High School and Stormy Sports. I know we did the football game I know there were some issues, some audio stuff, but we are actually going to be live streaming the home volleyball, football, softball games out there on stormysports.net, and it is free. You just got to scroll down and find the game and click on it. The website is working. It's just have a couple of issues, but we will be streaming it. Home games, I believe that Jared will be doing the play-by-play on it, so that'll be fun.
I'm excited.
Yep. So just in case you're not able to get to the games, we will be live streaming them.
Tune in.
And you'll no longer need a subscription or anything else, NFHS, because we'll be having it on stormysports.net. All right. Well, thank you, Jared.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a great week and go Cowboys.
Let's go Cowboys.